So, just a few days ago, October 30th, President Biden issued an executive order. And you would often wonder, well, how would an executive order really impact dentistry? Well, this specific executive order is directed at artificial intelligence and specifically its use in the healthcare arena. So, we now have an executive order, and I thought this was interesting terminology, and I'm going to read it to seize the promise and also manage the risk of AI. So this executive order will allow all government agencies to start forming their own entities within their own committees, groups, regulatory agencies, et cetera, with the focus of looking at artificial intelligence, its current use in healthcare arenas, not just in dental, but in all areas of healthcare, the advantages and opportunities that it poses, and then how do we manage the risk of privacy and access to care while we continue to expand its outreach within healthcare. So, just a few weeks prior to that, the FDA already formed a group. We won't call it a regulatory entity yet, but they formed a digital group within their architecture or their structure, whose task, among many others within the digital healthcare arena, is to also look at artificial intelligence. This is not a foreign concept to the ADA, to the AGD, and other organized dental groups. They've been looking, particularly the standards group within the ADA, has been looking at artificial intelligence with great detail over the last few years and creating white papers to establish standards of practice, expectations, and best practices for the use of AI with both practitioners and the companies that are developing the technology. And so this will be a really interesting debate. Will be interesting to watch it evolve. Certainly, we will then likely start to see regulatory issues that will come around AI and its use. And I think it will also be interesting to see how AI is already present in many of the things that we do, where maybe we aren't even fully aware. We know about companies like Pearl who are offering artificial intelligence support in the dental chair. But do we really know where all the AI support is happening, or at least the use of AI is happening with the data that we're collecting as dental practitioners? It may become a very interesting, eye-opening experience as there is more focus sort of on the AI use in healthcare in general. So we'll keep an eye on that. Certainly something to be thinking about. Pacific Northwest University just announced it will be opening a new dental school. Yep, that's right, because we need more dentists here in the US. That's a hot topic and a great debate for another time. I thought you might find it interesting, though. This comes on the heel of a $12 million grant from Delta Dental. That's right, a lot of PE money flowing into the opening and private money flowing into the opening of these new dental schools. So that's a debate for another time, I think. And lastly, we had we've been talking a little bit on our platform about all of these different do-it-yourself products, like the new, you've got the Snap-on Smiles and veneers that you can take impressions and deliver to yourself. Most recently, the removable products. Certainly, we know about the clear aligner products that are out there, like Smile Direct Club, that consumers can take their own impressions and direct their own care. Buyer beware. But now, in addition to this little nuance, there are individuals out there advertising courses for your veneer to be able to provide veneers to other folks. So a young woman out of Missouri is now being sued by the Dental Board of Missouri for attempting to provide dental services without a licensure. Unlike many of our other stories where the non-licensed practitioner is operating out of the back of a hotel room, she was operating in plain broad daylight and, in fact, marketing her courses so that you too, the average Joe Schmo citizen of your little community, could go and learn how to become a provider of veneers to those citizens in need in your area. She was also providing occlusal guards. She was doing some orthodontic services like changing out the colors around the wires and brackets, and also a little bit of bling on some of those canines. I don't think Post Malone did seek her care, but she was providing that service as well. Well, the Dental Board of Missouri is now filing suit against her. And I, as a resident of North Carolina who went through this process not that long ago, where the state dental board here in North Carolina sued a whitening company for providing whitening services in kiosks at the mall without a license to practice dentistry. And that particular case went all the way to the Supreme Court and lost 3-4 in a tight vote on the authority of a regulatory entity and licensure entity to be able to protect public health. And the FTC came in and said, well, no, this is actually, you're trying to protect your own trade and create a monopoly. And they allowed the kiosks to continue. I am genuinely curious to see how this case progresses. And if the precedent now that was set by the Supreme Court just a few years ago about allowing free trade in the area of oral health care will reign supreme, or where the line will be drawn in this very gray area. So we will continue to monitor and watch, give you updates as we get word. These things take years, but I do think now that there's a Supreme Court case on the books that sided on the side of free trade, this woman may actually have a pretty good stance of winning this particular lawsuit. Anyway, and with that, that's the news.